How's it going, guys and gals? This is Advanced Warrior here, and welcome back to another Tiny Wars Genesis Advanced Wars Days of Ruin replay commentary. I know it's been a while since I've last done one of these, but I have more videos up for your guys' enjoyment. If you enjoy these videos, of course. So, as I've said, we are doing another replay commentary. And this time we have a map on standard, no fog this time, because if you saw my last one, you saw how horribly defeated I was, and therefore I just thought I learned a little bit with standard gameplay, maybe see what my opponent would do as well. So COs. Again, as you saw from the last one, I am playing as Isabella once again. Isabella is kind of a flexible commanding officer, 50% boarding costs. Pretty sure it's similar with all commanding officers. Once you board her into a unit, all units around the CO or in the CO zone will have 20% offense and 20% defense. And it starts off with a radius of 2, which is pretty good. Like you can have you can be one tile apart from your commanding officer unit, and when you attack, you could still get the points to expand your energy zone, which goes up to 1 by 30 and goes up to 2 by 60. And when you do get to 60, her CO power basically expands the CO zone globally to the entire map. So every single unit will get 20% offense and 20% defense. The extra bonus that Isabella provides is that all her units gain +2 movement as well, and all her indirects gain +2 range, which is pretty good. If you're in a stalemate and you have your power, obviously you can use it to break your stalemates, get a lot of good first engagements, and just really try to get a good first strikes with your units. I've spoken to a couple of people on the Tiny Wars Discord, and I hear a couple of people say Isabella's pretty good. So I'm glad she's good. I only play her because she's one of my favorite characters. Alright, and my opponent for this match is Will. Wait, no, wrong Will. Oh, there we go. Now, Will. Same thing, boarding cost 50. Also has a zone radius of 2 when you create a CO unit. Also expands with +130, +260. This first part is the basic vanilla CO zone buff. All units in the CO zone get +10% offense and +10% defense, which is what everyone has. He gets an additional boost with his units. Ground direct units in the CO zone will get 20% more offense. So if you were to put that all together, all his units in the CO zone will be getting 30 offense, 10 defense, which is not that bad, you know. A lot of people like to appreciate the offensive power that their units have, and you can make it work with Will. I think Will is considered pretty good. Now his CO power, same thing, energy cost 60. Makes his CO zone global, so all the units will be getting that 30% offense and 10% defense, as well as getting the ground direct units getting +2 movement as well. So scratch that last one. Only the ground direct units will get that 30% attack. Everyone else would just get +10 if they don't qualify. But the +2 movement for all the ground units is actually pretty strong. Ground direct units, that is. Like, infantry can also get this boost, and they'll be powered up with 30% attack, so Will is definitely a formidable commanding officer. if I do say so myself. Right, those are the COs, and the map is called Atlas by Wikipedia. I kind of like this map. We have the HQs on the side here. The bases are at the bottom, and third one is much closer to the HQ. So you kind of get this little line of division right here, kind of like diagonal. And on the furthest corners we have airports. In the center we have comm towers or command towers, which, unlike Dual Strike and Advanced Wars by Web, they give you a 5% boost to attack and defense. Well, that's what the wiki says. And over here you see these are radars. They do provide income, which is nice. I don't think they heal your units though, but in Fog of War they give you vision. I believe it's 5 tiles wide surrounding it. So in Fog, obviously this would be prevalent, but this is just a nice 1,000 income to get. So without further ado, let's get right into the game. So immediately you'll notice a difference. Immediately you'll notice a difference between what I try to do and what my opponent tries to do. My opponent's on the bottom, playing as blue. I'm on the top as red. So immediately he goes for this port. My game plan was to try to get a unit count going, right? So immediately I ignore a potential capture and try to go straight for this base right here. My opponent builds a bike turn 1 and he's like already in the center trying to get properties. So you can kind of see my opponent's going for the income. I'm going for the unit count. And for a good while I actually do get a higher unit count, but less income. And in here, personally, I noticed that I've been trying to change up my playstyle, and I went for the city in the back. My opponent already moved forward to capture the unit. It's a habit I'm trying to get used to, where I start capturing the more contested properties first, and then I try to go for the back. It's just a personal thing that I'm trying to fix. But yeah, again, I just keep producing inventory. I keep getting more. More units out instead of spending them all on a bike. So let's see. Okay, after he buys this, what do we have now? So he has more buildings. We are even on units, but that's because he got a free infantry at the start of the game. So technically I am 1 up. Alright, back to my turn. Such an off-putting theme. Now I finally go straight, try to capture some of these properties, and I start capturing my base. Because like I said, I do want my unit count up. And I just move my units down, hopefully start capturing some of these properties. And I build my first bike here. I think what I do with my bike is I try to swing it around to get some of these properties. Oh, look at this bike. This bike is very aggressive. And he builds 2 mechs. Alright, interesting. Alright, so my plan was to get this bike to loop around and start capturing some of these properties. But the issue with that is these woods here really get in the way. Terrain counters bikes very well. Like you see this wasteland here, the forest, these shoals. They can really prevent a limit of bikes' movement. So it looks like we're capturing comm towers around the same time, and he just reaches his base and he builds 2 more bikes. Well, that's good music. Okay, so I finally capture the city, capture the comm tower, move my bikes up closer, and I have this infantry capturing this one city. And these 2 in the back, like I'm noticing, like I have these capturing in the back, which I think is completely fine. But look where this bike is. this bike is already up here in the middle, capturing the city. Like I said, the line is almost like this way. Uh-oh. The line's almost like this way. The divide. But, you notice that he kinda has his units in the middle-ish of his map. I have a lot of units like in the back here. Like I said, it's a habit that I'm trying to learn how to get used to. Start putting more effort into capturing the more contested properties, and then just have some go back and capture some of the cities. We might see that in another game, who knows. But yeah, right now it's currently turn 6, and I move my bike forward, capture the city, move this bike in the back to assist. Probably could have had better use for this, and I buy this mech, because this mech doesn't have a problem crossing over mountains. So if it like ends up here, like it'll end up here, and then it can move another 2 more. You could probably put it on the mountain for good defense, then it could go 2 out here, 2 out here, here, here. Like almost cover this little bundle of cities. Alright, so Will starts capturing. Currently, I have 3 more units, but he has 2,000 more funds. That is so far the difference in our early game, and he goes for a first strike on my city to try to interrupt this cap. Funny enough, he doesn't interrupt this one cap. I'm just capturing these cities, probably in the back you'll see soon. Get this airport. I get this first strike here, and he interrupts this cap technically as well, so I don't know if I should have committed. I had this bike here, so I just thought it'd be nice backup. This will capture in the next turn, unless no, the bike can't reach it. Unless this, I was about to say if this bike could reach this, he probably could kill it, but since nothing can reach this, and the cap on the bottom left here is 5, I'm gonna get the city next turn. And I just thought, you know, I have this, it can start capturing here. So I built a recon to try to contest some of these infantry, and I build an artillery. Because I want to protect my units on this side, and like we saw earlier, Isabella benefits with indirect synergy. Unlike Will. He builds his first tank here too. Oh yeah, another reason. I bought this artillery up here because I wanted to preserve my bases. Like, I didn't want to have empty bases because infantry costs 500 more compared to regular advanced force. So I was kind of in an awkward situation. It's like, you know, if I build this artillery, I can have these 2 bases filled up as well and keep my unit count higher. Right now I'm up by 5, and buildings are even currently, but he's about to capture this. So he is about to be ahead. And he has a bunch more neutral properties that he can start going for. So yeah, not only did I buy this artillery for indirect synergy, but to keep my unit count high. Moves his mech into the mountain. Thought he'd start capturing the radar. But yeah, he moves his tank in. Already in the middle. I only have an artillery and a mech, so I'm gonna have to get him to commit if I'm ever going to get value off this artillery. Finally capture the city, like I said. Capture this airport, and I capture this city, enemy city, to try to get him to do something. Artillery's moving up, mech's moving up, infantry following suit. Bike captures the city, and I aggressively capture this one, because I already have something else that could go for this. And I kind of have this here to protect the city, and this recon here is just to threaten these infantry, kind of like away from these mechs. And these two are in the back, right? They capture the cities in the back, great. But now they're all the way back here, much further away than these guys. If I had these guys in the front earlier, I probably might have been in a better situation, but we'll see. And I built my first tank and 2 mechs. because these are fairly close to the center. Oh wow. He starts moving in here to protect the city, because obviously I can't reach it. I mean, obviously I can't get it in 2 days. Captures, and he puts his CO on this tank. Nice 2-tile radius. Produces tank, bike, infantry. I think I do the same thing as well eventually. So I capture, I start going for this property, capture the city. This is a shoal, so my recon can go there. And I put my my artillery here because I'm baiting him. I'm trying to bait my opponent for attacking any of these, because ooh, wow, that's weird. Because they could probably get some good first strikes in, like even go for this tank here. Now, looking back at this now, I feel like I made one crucial error. I don't have a CO unit out yet. Not on these regular tanks, like my opponent here. See, it's already out. It's already in the middle. Can see combat. My thought process was, if I build my CO unit around a stronger unit, my CO unit can probably stay longer, and I'll get a lot more value quicker while I keep doing combat to build up my CO to build up my CO meter. And here I produce a medium tank. I think this is where I start to deviate from. I attack to make him spend some money. I bought an infantry here, and yeah, I committed to this medium tank here. Yeah, it's got alright move. I committed to this medium tank, and I end up just deviating from filling up my bases. I thought I thought this was a better option for a CO unit. Looking back at the statistics, I do have 1 income more and 6 more units, but that's before my opponent ends his turn. All of them get supplied. He moves his tank back to reinforce. Bike goes back as well. Infantry captures the city, and this tank goes for my right side. So I'm like, okay, now he's deep on this side. I could probably get something going pushing them in here. He tries to go for this city and interrupts his cap, kills my unit. So in hindsight, maybe this wasn't a good idea, because he's still moving forward with his units anyways. And he buys a battle copter, an artillery, and infantry. So seeing this was like, oh, okay, well, I know what to buy. I just captured a building, and I put my CO zone in my medium tank, which was not in range to attack this. So I just like, you know what? Protective artillery. Let's get him to commit to something. And here I'm just like aggressively trying to harass some of his units. I'm bringing everything to my right side. And I'm starting to notice that I don't have so much on this side as well. Like I have 1, 2, 3 full health, 4 health up here, and 2 half health infantry here. I build my anti-air, obviously against battlecopter, and I try to fill up all my bases. He's capturing this city. I've done this, so I'm not too worried about it. But now he's got some of these units in range. Hopefully I get a first strike. And he doesn't attack right away with his battlecopter. Obviously he's playing this a bit smart. He's pulling away, pulling his artillery here to defend his tanks. Yeah, he just starts to pull back. I think I have a notable threat here. I have a medium tank, obviously, and he builds an anti-tank. Anti-tanks are one of my personal favorite units in this game. Because, let me see if I can pull these stats up. Anti-tank. They have tire beam movement 4. They can, attack. They attack for 75, 65, 65, 75, 75, 75. you can see how strong these are when they attack. Like, oh, that is they have a lot of firepower, admittedly, and they're indirects too. So again, Isabella synergy. I think they can also attack at direct range as well. Yep, they can. They can attack right in front of you, and I think they can counterattack. I haven't played Days of Ruin in a hot minute, so I don't know the exact details of it. So here I try to stop this bike. I bring this infantry here, this medium tank, I'm sorry, to try to buff up my tank and get the first strike here. I put artillery here. This artillery is hopefully going to protect all these units. Unless he could break through a recon, which, looking at it now, probably seems likely. Mech, tanks, battlecopter. So I produced my own battlecopter here to try to help defend these guys. Probably might force an anti-air out of him. So yeah, once he gets the city, he goes and he just one-shots this recon because it's on a road. That was a mistake by me. I didn't properly defend my thing, and artillery is gone too. So he took out my recon and an artillery, and he has his in range. Right here. And we got some action going on here. Joins his bikes. Has more infantry pulling up. A mech coming forward as well. Has an anti-air, obviously in response. And this anti-tank is just moving up. And his CO zone is a lot bigger too. All my units get supplied. First strike with this mech. And I don't kill this bike with this 9 HP infantry. So I'm kind of doing the same thing, putting my battlecopter on this forest here, and I'm just trying to get more combat going on here to increase my zone eventually, and I do. This one's not in the zone, unfortunately. This one's hopefully going to capture something. I move reinforcements down, and I build my own anti-tank and a tank as well. I was going to check stats here. So he has 2 indirects next to each other, which is obviously scary. And he's starting to win these fights on this top side here. And that anti-air's in range. I'm in trouble. Starts moving his units much closer. Now he's got a much bigger zone. And my only strong threat against this is a tank and a mech that can only attack from this right side. Here he buys his own medium tank, buys another mech, buys a bike on this side. Alright, turn 13. Now, we are even on income, but now you start to see that I'm losing units and unit value. So yeah, slowly, this isn't going that well for me. He has this much more, I believe, a more mobile CO unit. Tank, 6 movement, compared to this medium tank, only 5 movement. Yeah, he's more mobile, and it's still pretty strong. Just because a CO is on a larger tank doesn't make it invincible. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to attack it, but if I try to move in and do something, he has a handful of threats to potentially do something to it. I move my anti-tank in to hopefully get some value off of it, because they're pretty strong. I kill these, move my battlecopter to the right, because obviously anti-air is there. And I try to get first strikes off this, and hopefully I get this tank going through here. I deal direct combat with it. I was having some trouble deciding what to do, because this infantry was blocking me from preventing me from going down here. And I don't want to attack in this forest, obviously, because he has 2 indirects. But looking at it now, there probably would have been a chance that I could kill his unit, and all his CO points would be gone. Because if your CO unit dies, you lose all your points. Oh, and another thing. If you build it on a cheaper unit, the boarding cost obviously becomes much cheaper. And if your CO unit is injured, you can just join and you still keep it. So, which is why now looking at it, I think tanks are one of the better units to put your CO in, because they have nice mobility, they're cheaper, and you can join with the other cheaper units. So I try to pull back. Yeah, I definitely could have killed this. A mech probably would have done around the same, but it's just at 1 HP. So close to killing it, and I build a war tank. Yeah, this is... For a move, it's gonna take a while to get there. I guess I just tried to tech up too quickly. It does bring my value up though, but... I think this turn something nasty happens. He uses his super. Now all these units, except for these indirects, all these units have 2 move, and the direct units all have 2 move and 30% attack. His CO zone is now global. And with so much opportunity for first strikes, well, we'll just see. So, before that, I was at 19 units. Let's see how this goes. Loops around, attacks this mech. Goes around, attacks my tank. Leaves it on 2 HP. Moves his anti-tank up to obviously threaten. They have more range in artillery. This mech has enough reach to go hit this tank. Anti-air is next to my airport. I can't pull anything out anymore. Oh, and he builds his own medium tank. I forgot. Yeah, it just goes all the way up here and just gets a lot of good first strikes. Movement is so good in this game. Fails to kill the anti-air. And yeah, it's just going out here. And he buys a bomber. Oh man. This felt like he was flexing on me hard. Listen to this music. But yeah, he builds a bomber. And I'm like, oh shoot. I'm in trouble. It is now my turn. I am now 15 to 17. He did sacrifice some units, but I am behind again. And by a significant amount, because he did just buy this bomber. So I try to free my anti-air. No, I try to free my tank with this anti-air. It got up to 3 because it got repaired. And my mistake here is that I have enough for my super. I could have actually just pulled this back to somewhere safer and then use my superpower. And hopefully I get something out of it, because I have this anti-tank here. It can attack this mech, this bike. It has a lot of potential targets. And this can move much more with the super. This bike can also move much more with the super. But I just failed to use my super properly. See? Anti-tank, just try to go for the mech. And then I move my tank back to use my CO power. Because you use an action if you use your CO unit. Now I move this down. I get good hits. A really good hit with this battlecopter. War tank moves 2 more down. And I try to get some first strikes here. I try to kill this thing. I eventually do. And I'm just like, you know what, let me just capture. Just to force you to do something with about this unit. I move this down to reinforce with however I can. And he has his, I have my anti-air here to counter this battlecopter, obviously, and I build a tank up here. And I build a mech. Probably should do more on this left side here. Anti-tank and artillery. With this mech, I'll bombard my tank here. Moves this battlecopter in. Mech kills my wounded infantry. Gets a good trade with the anti-tank. Gets really good attacks with this anti-tank, with the buffed with that buffed up will. Even with my units being buffed up, they just punch through it really hard. Buy another battlecopter, mech, and bike. 1919, so we're about even. 40,000 value behind, with also 4 units less. Yeah, it's starting to look grim. Attack with this mech, and I resign. You know, actually, I just realized what some of my problems were anyways here. Like, I could have been more better with my capture phase. I'm starting to second guess if even going for this base here was even a good idea. Obviously, I did get a unit count up, and eventually the income stayed the same. Like 1, 2, 3 turns, I can get this base. My CO unit, obviously, I could have put it on a much better unit, a more flexible unit, like this tank here. Wow, that moves very far. Are you sure that's 6 move? Yeah, it's 6 move. Yeah, I'm going crazy. But yeah, that's Isabella versus Will on the map at last. I lost again, but I honestly still had fun. I am trying to be as committed to this game as much as I can, and it's very, very different. With the CO units, the bikes, the Wastelands Forest, it shows how all that terrain can negate the bike's freedom to move. I'm playing more Tiny Wars, a lot more actually. It's just that some of these games were so horrible, I didn't think that they were good enough for a video. But then I looked back at this one and thought it was worth it for a video. So, yeah, that is another Tiny Wars Days of Ruin replay commentary for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I personally enjoyed making this video. I just enjoy doing these replay commentaries. And I would also like to have a much larger player base for this game as well, because sometimes I wait a couple hours for a game, and it can get a little quicker if I put in the Discord saying that I'm looking for a game. I'm always up for games. I want to get better at this game, which is why I showcase these games where I lose, so I can hopefully learn something from it. But this has been Tiny Wars Genesis, Advance Wars Days of Ruin Online. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Advanced Warrior, and you all have my warmest regards. Take care.